Hey y'all, it's me again. This is part 2 of the video, but it was going to be too long, so I had to put it in 2 parts. And this little guy, hi, this is Wiley. This is my sister's dog. He's a little dog. Well, he's a sweet little guy. Alrighty, let's get this potty started. Okay, so you guys don't have this page, but we have got to talk about setting up correct proportions. Okay. So what you're doing when we're comparing proportions, okay, proportion again is a comparison of 2 ratios. So when you're comparing proportions, you have to make sure you're comparing the same thing. So right here where it says X, this is my height. I'm going to write H for height. So I have to look over at my little dude. What would be the height? Would the 6 or the 5? The 6 would be. So this would be my height. And this down here would be the length. That's going to be the length of the shadow. That is the length. So that it's really important because when you're setting up proportions, you have to make sure that you're comparing the right side of things. So what that means is when I'm going to set this up, I'm going to write, and I have to write in words. I'm going to write height, and you have to write these words. If these words aren't written, you're going to be in very, very much trouble. Height over the length. Okay, so we know that they always have to, L-E-N-G-H, length. Okay, we have to make sure that the correct numbers are going into the correct spot because otherwise we could mess up our proportion. So if we're trying to figure out the height of the tree, let's look up here. My height, do I know my height? No, so what am I going to write there? I'm going to write X over, okay, now I'm going to look at my length of my tree. Do I know it? Yep. It's 25. Okay, that's going to equal the height of the dude. And look at the height of the dude is 6 feet over the length. Ooh, I just messed up. The length, which is 5. So you have to make sure, I always say you have to make sure that your units are looking at each other. See how they're all blue because those are all the height? And then your length is there. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cross multiply. And when we cross multiply, we do 6 times 25, and I get 150, equals, now I'm going to multiply x times 5, and I get 5x. Now I get a one-step equation, divide both sides by 5, divide both sides by 5, I get 30 feet equals x. So I know that is how tall that guy is. My tree is 30 feet. Pretty cool. Yay! Alrighty. So it's a solving proportion word problems. Okay, you have to have labels, so you have to write the words. It says, Miss Faulkner's Growl has won 5 out of 7 games played so far this year. If they continue to win at the same rate, how many games should they win after playing 30 games? Okay, so I got to figure out what I'm talking about. So I won 5, and I played a total of 7. So my words are going to be how many I've won over how many total I have played. So let's see, how many have we won? We've won 5 out of how many? We've won 5 out of 7. Okay, now the question is, how many games should I win after playing 30 games? So that 30 is representing my total. So if it's the total, is it going to go on the top or the bottom? It's going to go on the bottom. So I'm trying to figure out how many games I am going to win. Alrighty, so now we're going to cross multiply. 7x equals 150. One-step equation. Divide both sides by 7. Divide both sides by 7. I get x equals 21.4. Can I win 0.4 of a game? No. So I'm going to write 21, and I can't just write 21. 21 what? 21 jelly beans? No, 21 games. And I'm really annoying about the words. You gotta have the words. 21 games. Gosh, we're going to be a successful growl. So you got to make sure you write all of that. Are y'all having fun? Oh my gosh, this next problem you're going to love. Okay, this is pretty sensitive subject. So it says there's a little known fact that Miss Terrell was once a shark hunter. Statistics have shown that 7 out of 4 hunts will result in legs being torn off, gaping holes bit out of stomachs, or even death. Miss Terrell has only experienced 2 hunts with injuries. How many hunts has she done? Oh my goodness. So you got to ask Miss Terrell about this. She gets pretty sensitive. Last year she wouldn't talk about it, but the year before she did. But yeah, you got to talk. Okay, we'll talk about it in a minute. So what are we trying to figure out? We're trying to figure out how many hunts has Miss Terrell done. So we're trying to figure out how many hunts with injuries. So we're going to say injuries. Gosh, this is kind of serious. We have injuries over total. So let's go back to our information. We know that 7 out of 4 hunts will result in injuries. So the injuries, we got 7 out of a total of how many? 400. Okay, Miss Terrell has only experienced 2 hunts with injuries. So the injuries, it's going to go on the top. So you're going to set it up. And we're trying to figure out how many hunts has she done. We're trying to figure out the total. So we're going to put an X there. So we're going to go ahead and cross multiply. We get 800 equals 7x. Divide both sides by 7. Divide both sides by 7. I get 114x equals 114 point, what is it, 3. Can she do 0.3 of hunts? No, so it's 114 what? I've got to write the word. 114 hunts. So you really got to go check in with Miss Terrell. But sometimes she gets a little weird about it, so I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't ask her. Well, she knows. I don't know. Y'all can make up your own mind. Alrighty. Sammy, see Sammy right here? Sammy races for fun. She gets a thrill beating all the guys. Her last qualifying heat was a time of 37 seconds for 1.2 miles of course. If she maintains this speed during the actual race, which is 3.5 miles long, how long will it take her to finish the race? Okay, so we are talking seconds and miles, okay? So those are our words. So you got to write seconds and miles. Okay, so let's go back to our information. She had 37 seconds for 1.2 miles. So we're going to say 37 seconds for 1.2 because that's our miles. So that's our seconds and that's our miles. So we're trying to figure out if the actual race is 3.5 miles long, how long will it take? So what are we going to do? We're going to put this 3.5 miles where? You bet it. On the bottom. And we'll do X. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cross multiply. 1.2x equals, when I multiply that, what do I get? I get 129.5. Divide both sides by 1.2. Divide both sides by 1.2. And I get 107.9 seconds equals X. Okay, you got to make sure you put the seconds. Whoa. Okay, so did you guys like that? Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool, Sammy. Okay, it says, if it takes 6 cups of flour to make 54 cupcakes, how many cupcakes can be made with 10 cups? So I want to see, oh, look at these. Oh, goodness gracious, the screen is moving. I want to see if you all can go ahead and set this up yourself. So what I want you to figure out is what word is going to go there and what word is going to go there. And then I want to see if you can go ahead and set up your proportion and solve. So it says how many cupcakes can be made. So your answer is going to be X equals blank cupcakes. So give it a whirl, give it a try. When you're finished, raise your hand so we can give you a check and some love. Okay, love y'all. See y'all. Bye.